All right, welcome back to the Generation Z podcast, episode 24. Today, we're going to go through our simple guide for an effective bulking phase. So, we want to talk through the main do's and don'ts of a bulking phase and talk through some of the problems and mistakes that we've made in the past so you don't make them yourself. So, the scope of discussion today is going to be identifying your need to bulk or enter a gaining phase, main gaining, lean bulking, and then like a full-on bulk, and then mistakes to avoid, and finishing off with essential steps to take to ensure your gaining phase is effective. And if you find this valuable and want to hear more of this kind of stuff, then as always, subscribe or follow on whatever platform you're listening on. We do have an Instagram and Facebook page for more of this content, and a Twitter page. We're also on YouTube if you prefer to watch the podcast. I think that's what the socials, mate. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you smashed that. So yeah, let's jump straight into it. So the main discussion we're going to start talking about is you need to identify your reason why you're entering this bulking phase or why you're entering this gaining phase that you want to get into. So I think a lot of what people do when they go into a bulking phase is that they genuinely just eat stupid amounts of food.
Been there, done
And
that.
it happens. People like literally go into the kitchen and they eat whatever they
Give
can
it
see.
me.
Yeah, give it me now.
Just eat everything in sight.
And
Yeah.
people kind of use it as an excuse, don't they?
Oh yeah, 100%. But yeah, I think that's a good point. So, I mean, 95% of the people listening are not going to be competing in a bodybuilding show. So, you don't need to eat a stupid amount of food and almost get to that point. You always see bodybuilders and like motivational videos be like,
Yeah.
oh, what is it like? I eat for results, not for taste, and all this like
Yeah.
hardcore shit. Or like I have to force feed myself to get
Yeah.
big. It's like,
That reminds me of Rich Piana.
yeah, eat big to get big.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Rich though.
R.I.P. Rich Daddy.
But yeah, like if you're just a casual gym goer and you just want to put on a bit of muscle, then the whole idea of eat big to get big is just, it's stupid. The only people
Yeah.
doing it is just bodybuilders because they literally have to push their body weight to places they've never been before in the hope that they will maximize the amount of muscle built during that time frame. Because
I
they
think
want to be as big as possible on stage. So.
Yeah, like people who eat big to get big, I doubt they enjoy that process
No.
at all. Just constantly feeding yourself 4 to 5,000 calories. It's not even optimal either.
No,
We're gonna discuss this, but you only really need to have being like a couple 100 calorie surplus. That's the only kind of optimal calorie intake that you should be looking at. So yeah, if you're going into a bulking phase, eat big to get big. Don't have that mental image going into a bulking phase. It's not true.
Yeah, because it often ends in more problems than good from it, which we're
Yeah,
going to talk
because
about later.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, when you come down to the cutting phase, it's just going to make things a lot harder, isn't it?
Yeah, you have that sudden realization of, oh, I'm fat.
I'm a big chungus.
Nobody wants that realization.
Yeah.
So we're going to split into kind of like three ways of doing this. You've got main gaining, lean bulk, and then a full-on bulk.
Yeah.
And first of all, like even the word bulk, like when you think of bulk, you just think of like getting massive and huge.
Yeah, you don't think of building muscle. You think of getting fat.
Yeah,
like that's how I see it.
Same. So yeah, I think a new term that most people use is just a gaining phase, which kind of makes more sense, I guess. But
yeah,
we'll start with lean bulking. So I think this is a good idea for beginners with not much size to them because you can maximize muscle growth and recovery through just a small surplus in food, and you're going to increase your overall strength and size whilst keeping your body fat increases really minimal.
Yeah.
So obviously when you first start going to the gym, stimulus is completely new.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure, like, you probably remember the first time you went in and trained chest, or the first time you trained ups. You woke up the next day, even after doing like 4 sets, and you're in pain. Like,
Yeah, I was bedbound for the week.
Yeah, like, it recovery when you're starting is key. So that's why I'd say that you probably do want to be in a slight surplus, because food for natural athletes is like, well, and sleep obviously is the best way to recover.
Exactly. Yeah, carbs are very important for recovery, and I don't think a lot of people realise that either.
Nah, carbs and protein. Key
Carbs
for
and
recovery.
protein are extremely key, and I think a lean bulk in general, what it's going to allow you to do as a beginner is start to gain knowledge around food, because I don't think not many people are educated in what they're eating.
None at all.
So some people may think that a meal's about 400 calories, but in actual fact, it's like 800, 850.
Yeah.
And then after a couple of months of eating that sort of stuff, they look in the mirror and go like, how have I put on like so much weight?
Yeah, exactly.
When really they're just, yeah, they don't really understand food and nutrition.
Yeah, like when I first started, I didn't have a clue what a macro was. If I looked at food, yeah, some foods I knew like bread was a carb or something, but I didn't
Yeah,
know
yeah,
like ratios of kind of how much like
exactly.
carb to fat and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
yeah, tracking obviously is key to this whole thing.
yeah.
Should have said that at the start. Like, you got to track your food, obviously.
Mm.
Um, but when it comes to lean bulking as well, something that I do is actually drop my calories slightly on a rest day. And that's usually by decreasing carbs, because the energy demand for the day is just lower. Obviously, you're not going to the gym.
Yeah.
You don't need all that extra food. But yeah, that's just another way to keep fat gain to a minimum.
Yeah. So we can move on into main gaining now, which is, so basically I haven't done a main gaining phase. So I actually don't really have a lot of knowledge on main gaining. Is that something that you'd be able to talk about, Marcus?
Yeah, so I mean, this is my first year really doing
Yeah.
main gaining, because I've kind of been, I mean, I say I've been going to the gym for 4 years. The only really effective bulk I did was like a year and a
Last
half
year,
ago. Yeah,
yeah. Yeah.
because
You're
off of that,
constantly learning, aren't you?
yeah, exactly.
People get so kind of pressured and be like, oh, why am I not seeing results in the first year or two? Like, you will see results, but I think not many people are realistic when they go into a bulking phase.
Yeah, I think they're not realistic, but also they just don't have a clue. And that's not because they're not trying, it's because
Yeah,
it takes so long to understand everything that's out there.
exactly. Yeah,
So you'll probably think, oh, I know exactly what I'm doing. 3 years
yeah.
later, you'll look back and think, what was I doing? Like, that's
Exactly.
exactly what
And
I've done as
that's
well.
the realization that I'm coming to now. Yeah,
Yeah, which is why we're making this podcast.
exactly.
So,
We want to share this knowledge.
exactly, mate. So main gaining, all it is you're basically eating at your maintenance, but you're trained. So I personally train to failure. Say I go in, I do, I don't know, flat dumbbell press for 9 reps. Next week, I track it, right? 9 reps I did last week. I've got to get 10 this week. Go
Yeah,
in, I get 10. Next week, right? I got 10 last week. And if you're eating at maintenance and you're training with high intensity, your recovery's on point and all of that, you should be able to still put on muscle
yeah,
whilst just eating at maintenance. And that's basically going to mean you're putting on muscle and almost no fat. There shouldn't really be any fat gain involved. However, if you're new to the gym and you probably are, maybe you're quite insecure because of how small you are and you do just want to get bigger quickly,
yeah.
then you might want to opt for a lean bulk just to add more size more quickly.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think people that go into a full bulk, as we mentioned kind of at the start, there's no real need for it.
No.
As Marcus said at the start, unless you're you've got like a goal in mind in terms of like a long-term goal. Maybe you're going for a competition, or maybe you're getting into powerlifting and you need the most like you're maybe changing your whole physique, because you look at the physique of a power lifter, and there's no way you can't achieve that while going on like a nice full bulk, like eating a lot of calories, because you're doing like 1 rep maxes, and that takes a lot of energy. So
think about it, like if you look at the strongest people in the world, a lot of them are carrying a lot of weight to
they are, yeah. Did you the transformation, who had that transformation recently? Eddie Hall. Eddie Hall, that's it. The Mr. Strongman, isn't he? He's called Mr.
World's Strongest Man, yeah.
World's Strongest Man, yeah. He's shedded off a load of his weight that he had, and he looked ripped as fuck. Like,
if you look back to him,
looks like a gorilla.
Yeah, he was 6'3", and he was something like 190 kg in that area.
Wow.
His shoulders were basically just covering his head at that point. Like
180 kilograms. What a fucking unit, bro.
It's ridiculous. But yeah, as you said, like full bulk. I can't really think of. I'm talking from a physique standpoint. Obviously, you said about powerlifting and stuff like that. I can't see any real reason, unless you're competing, and even when you're competing, you might not even need to do that. But yeah, the only thing I'd say is just if you're just having fun with it, you don't care about your appearance, you don't really care about your health that much, you just want to get as strong as possible, then just pack on size and lift heavy weight and have fun.
Yeah, like I don't, we don't recommend a full bulk. That's what we're trying to say. We'd say main 2 is lean bulk to kind of start off that process of gaining muscle quickly, and then once you've started, because you did your main gaining phase at the end of your cut, didn't you? Am I correct? Yeah. So we would potentially suggest people, if they've got to their like newest kind of lowest weight, that they look in the mirror and they go, oh, I'm shredded, like I'm cool with that, but I still want to get back to increasing my calories again, because being on those calories at that weight is like it's torture some days. Like you look in the cupboard and you're like, fucking hell, let me just raid this whole cupboard. But main gaining is definitely a recommendation for if you're wanting to gain some more muscle after you've just finished your cut, essentially.
Yeah, I think that's a good point, actually. I didn't mention that. Is do your cut, get to a body fat percentage that you like, reverse diet up to maintenance, and then from there, literally just main gain. You can just keep on adding muscle. Yeah, it's going to be slightly slower, but you're going to stay lean the whole time.
Exactly. Yeah, and the thing is, like chopping, that's one of the main problems, I think. A full bulk, you can get into the habit of, as you said, if you're having a bit of fun with it and you've got no real goal in mind, then essentially oh mate, I was literally about to say something but I forgot. We'll keep going.
We'll keep going. If it comes back to you.
I was literally had it and then it just like complete mind blank. So yeah, sorry about that, boys.
We'll carry on. So mistakes to avoid, and this is kind of like the key one, is just eating whatever you want and just getting fat. Like I've been there myself. Trust me, it's not worth it. Yeah, 9 months out of the year, it's great fun. And then you get to the end and you're like, oh, I only need like 2 months cutting and I'll be fine. 2 months cutting. I don't need an extra month. Oh, I only need an extra couple of weeks. You need about an extra 4 months, mate. Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
You don't realise it. So I'd say you need to find a balance between enjoying foods you probably won't be able to enjoy as much on a cut and still having nutrient-dense foods. So I actually went too far the other way on my last bulk. I stayed on such clean food that when I got to the cut, I was just like, why didn't I just enjoy myself a little bit for the last 9-10 months?
Don't you?
Yeah. So you can still have nice food, but just don't take the piss, basically.
Like going back to my mind blank, that's basically what I was going to say about having, if you're fully bulking and you're staying comfortable in that fully bulking and you're eating so many calories and there's no like real end goal in mind, as you said, you're gonna get fat quite quick, and then you're not gonna be happy with kind of how you look, because you don't really, with a big bulk like that, you don't really have the goal in mind. Like a lean bulk, it's I want to build lean muscle.
Yeah.
But if you're just doing a normal, just 30 bulk, the only goal that you're aiming for is how many calories, many calories you can have a day.
Day's a calorie
now 5,000
challenge.
today, yeah.
It's awful. Which is why I'd say, like, you got to take progress pictures on your bulk, because if you see yourself every day, it's hard to see how much fat and muscle you're putting on, because obviously it's such a slow progress. You don't wake up and be like, oh, my arms are bigger today. You see yourself every day. You don't notice the small changes. It's only when you look back after a couple of months and you can be like, oh, I've put a muscle, or oh, I'm actually getting a bit of fat here.
Yeah, that's true. That's exactly the same with, if you were to switch it round and look at it from like a dieting phase, in terms of you're in the calorie deficit, and progress pictures are going to be just as good for there, because when you're losing weight, you're not going to see it every day and be like, oh, I've lost a bit of fat there.
Yeah, exactly.
You're going to see it over a month, over a week. It won't be possible. And a lot of people kind of get disheartened by that, by not seeing progress straight away. They think it's all just going to come
just
to
happen.
them. Yeah, exactly. It takes work.
Takes work, and a lot of time, as we've probably said on so many podcasts now. But the
patience.
Exactly. The next thing, this is still under like eating whatever you want and getting fat type thing, is like the quote, I know roughly what I'm eating, basically equates to, I don't have a clue. I don't want to track, because I know I'm so far off my goals that if I was to track, I'd feel guilty about what I'm actually eating. Like, tracking keeps you accountable. It's such a good idea to track your food, and it maximizes your results. I don't really think it's that much effort either. Like, after a while,
once you get into the groove of it, because you track it, you said that you track your meals the day before. So that would be a place to start for everybody who's listening. Start tracking your food the day before, so you know what you're having when you wake up, and then you can literally just look at your phone and just weigh out what you're having for the day, and just
your day's sorted. Basically.
Your day's sorted, essentially.
Yeah. So just to round up this point, I'd say, or as you said earlier, like 200 to 300 calorie surplus would probably be optimal for building muscle in a lean bulk. And just remember, like, entering a bulking phase, so many people, I've done it before, you end up in a bad situation where you've got very poor physique, you've got high body fat, you probably end up with low self-esteem, low self-confidence, because you think, oh, what have I done? I've let myself go. This is going to take months to outdo everything I've done. You might even be getting spots from all the shitty food that you've been having. I know I used to get bad acne from just like eating shitty food, doing scoops of whey all the time. It's not worth it.
No.
And the difference between a lean bulk and a full-on dirty bulk might even just be like a pound or two. Like, it's not worth going through.
In terms of muscle build?
Literally. Because
that is so true.
The muscle that you put on, you spend an extra 2 months cutting. Like, you know.
I know, it's actually I think that is a big one for people when they go into the bulking phase. That's one of the main misconceptions, is I have the excuse now to eat whatever I want. And so, like, I think that kind of leads on quite well into the second point, because some people, or I personally experienced this, where I was eating whatever I wanted and I was pushing past my limits as well, because I had all that energy from like the food, and I was like pushing too much in certain workouts, and injury was just gonna be. It was just gonna be like an effect of
Yeah.
that. I think personally.
Yeah, it's if you enter a bulking phase and you're getting really strong and you continue to do it, and suddenly maybe your ego kind of gets you a bit, you load up too heavy,
Yeah,
especially when your form's not on point,
yeah.
and next thing you know, you might have a pec tear or a bicep tear. Like, it's true. I'm
You
all
don't want one of them.
yeah,
Fucking hell, they
like
are
that.
brutal.
Yeah, no, I'm all for training heavy, training with intensity. But yeah, that's a good point. You gotta
Respect your
understand your limits
limits.
when you're trying to hit new like touch weights you've never touched before.
Mm.
You've got. I know a lot of like bodybuilders say like you gotta deserve to be touching that weight. In a sense, like your form's got to be in control.
Yeah,
Once
yeah.
that's in control, yeah, then you can work up. But yeah, no,
Form
that's
is huge. Some people, I think, they push past their limits. Yeah, and as you said, they push past their limits, and their form is just kind of non-existent. And
mm,
I've kind of realised now that mind-muscle connection, especially in a bulking phase, is huge.
in what sense?
Just in terms of like concentrating on the range
Mm,
of motion.
yeah,
So,
okay.
and instead of just picking up 30 kg dumbbells and pressing them until
Yeah,
your
yeah,
arms fall off,
yeah. That's a good point,
like
actually.
you need to slow it down,
Yeah,
and you
slow
kind
it
of
down is
you need to
so true.
slow it right down and start, even if you're picking up, like, let's say you are bicep curling 8 kg dumbbells in a like a inclined seated position. If you were to do a rep range of 1 second up, 1 second pause at the top, and maybe like a 3 to 4 second decrease on the eccentric, that is going to develop your muscles a lot more than if you're swinging around 16s.
Yeah, doing 16s with 5 reps in each arm, with
Yeah,
most of it going to your lower back. Like, it's not
yeah,
really
and
working your bicep, is it?
using the momentum, and yeah, just swinging it around. It's
Yeah.
that's one of like the major
Mm.
things I think people get wrong in a bulking phase, is just not really understanding how to do effective workouts.
Yeah, no, it's very true. Like that's just reminded me. I think when I was 18, maybe I was doing like flat uh, bench press with
Mm,
dumbbells. I had 30s in each arm, and I was doing like 4 sets of 12. I was literally just like repping it out,
yeah,
but none of the work was really going to my chest. Obviously, my chest was still activated a bit. When I actually slowed it down, started doing a tempo of like 3 second eccentrics and then
yeah,
quick burst up to the top,
yeah,
I realised I can't do 30s. I can only
yeah,
do about 24s. And the
yeah,
thing is, when I started using lower weight, I actually made a lot more progress. So it's not
exactly.
so much what weight you're moving, it's how you move the weight, because that determines the muscle damage and then obviously muscle growth from that.
Love that. Yeah.
So, third point, another little quote: I can't do cardio because I'm bulking.
Why not? Where's the gym rules to say that you
Yeah,
can't do that?
if you're in a surplus, you can do no cardiovascular work at all. Right?
Just the person at the
In
front, just
rule
like, yeah, like, what are you currently doing now? Are you in a bulking phase?
book.
Well, okay, so you're not allowed to go here.
Yeah.
It's like,
No treadmill
no,
for you.
mate.
It's like if you're getting out of breath going up the stairs, bulk's out of control, mate. All right.
You're
You,
unhealthy.
yeah, you're just unhealthy.
Yeah, like your cardiovascular health is is at a detriment
Non-existent.
to your physical kind of
Yeah.
well-being,
And
essentially.
actually, I just thought of something now. Say you're doing a heavy compound movement like a squat, right?
Yeah,
If your cardiovascular health is poor and you're struggling for breath, right? Think of a
you're not
heavy
going to be
compound
able to
movement.
do as much.
Yeah, you take a
Yeah,
deep breath in, go down,
yeah,
exhale, do it again. If you're really unfit, after 2, 3 reps, you'll absolutely smash. You're like, I cannot breathe. Like, you need some cardiovascular health just to even get you through a set. So,
yeah. Like, yeah, you actually need to be fit.
Yeah, because
Like,
think when
if you know what I mean.
yeah, if you get to, I know for me, heavy compound movements, once you get to the end of the set, I'm out of breath.
Mm,
Like, you do need some cardiovascular health, but even with recovery, so like cardio can aid recovery, and something I've done recently is I wasn't recovering very well from my leg sessions, even though my sleep was on point and stuff. And
yeah,
maybe I could have increased food, yeah, whatever. But I just started going on a bike recently.
yeah.
Light bike
I
ride.
was thinking that.
Yeah, light bike ride gets blood flow into the muscles. Obviously, blood flow helps carry nutrients. Light
Hmm.
cardio can actually aid recovery. So
Yeah,
recovery can be beneficial as long as you just don't do excessive amounts that's going to take away from recovery
yeah.
and or your performance in the gym.
In a
Then
different kind of context to that sort of recovery, I think in football, like a
mm,
light cardio warm down session is very
yeah,
good for recovery. So you can start to implement that in your gym routine, and after every leg session, just do 10 minute 10 minute bike ride, stationary bike ride, and as you said, it's just going to aid recovery so much better, and also just doing cardio every so often. Maybe you're doing a push pull leg split and you're doing legs twice a week. You can do 2 10-minute cardio sessions after your legs,
yeah,
and that will keep you lean. That will keep blood flowing. That will keep your kind
yeah,
of cardiovascular health in check.
yeah. And I think it comes back to the very first thing we said. Like, majority of people are not competitive bodybuilders. You
Mm,
don't need to just constantly eat because at the end of the day, it's more like a fitness lifestyle you're trying to have. You should be
yeah,
having an active lifestyle. It's not just, oh, I go to the gym, I can't do cardio, or I don't go to the gym, I only do cardio. Like, you can do both, and they
both.
actually benefit each other.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. No, 100% agree, mate.
Mm.
So, so now we are going to move on to the essential steps to take on board to ensure that you have an effective gaining phase. So, the first recommendation we would give is to develop a tailored program where you are able to track your progress. I think this is huge, and a lot of people are kind of scared of tracking the reps and sets and kind of weight. But recently, I have seen a lot more people having notepads out at the gym and actually tracking
Yeah,
what they're lifting, and that's just going to benefit you because that's going to allow you to ensure that you are progressively overloading every week. I
literally, yeah.
mean, and I think progressive overload should be looked at in that sort of time frame. I don't think it should be kind of per session. I think it
Mm.
should be kind of over the week. Would you agree with that?
What What do you mean over the week? As in,
So say you are, because it depends what people are doing, but some people may do like two, let's say they do chest and chest, they do a push session, let's say, and they are doing two of the same exercises in both those sessions, but they're aiming to progressively overload.
okay, yeah,
But one week you may start the week and you may be able to do what it says on the program, like the sets and reps, and then when you want to progressively overload into the same exercise in that same week, you might not be able to progressively
yeah.
overload from
I
four
think,
days ago. You know what I mean?
yeah, I think that's more just a program issue. So I wouldn't do the same
But this is for
exercise
people
twice in
that
a
are
week.
maybe doing their own programs, because I'm thinking in the context of beginners that are watching this.
Yeah, I think if you're a beginner, then find a program from somebody who knows what they're talking about.
Yeah,
Because, yeah, as you said, I know I used to do maybe the same exercise twice,
same.
sometimes
That's
even possibly three times when I thought just the
yeah,
more volume, the better. And yeah, like, don't do the same exercise twice in a week, probably because you're not going to recover between that session. And then, yeah,
yeah,
you probably won't progressively overload. But yeah, I think tracking reps, sets, and weights is it's just it's so key, because if you don't know what you're moving or what you touched last session, you don't know if you're progressively overloading. And then when you do hit that extra rep, you do get to that new weight, you think, this is working, this is perfect.
There we go.
You get that confidence.
Yeah. And you can track on your phone.
Yeah, that's what I do.
There's a lot of apps on your phone that you can use to just, you add in the amount of sets, reps, and the weight that you did for each kind of session, and then it'll be able to show you graphs of, like, an illustration essentially of your progressive overload.
Exactly, mate. Yeah, I think that is a very key thing to do. And so the next thing would be, when you do stop progressing, this is still kind of touching on programming and exercise selection. Say you're doing incline dumbbell press, right? And you do that for 12 weeks, and then you hit a point where you can't progress anymore. First of all, it might just be that 1 week, so carry on. Second week, still don't progress. Third week, still don't progress. Okay, switch that out for something else that hits the same muscle in a similar way, but it's still a different type of movement. So switch from an incline dumbbell press to an incline Smith press, and you'll probably do that.
It's similar.
Yeah. And then you'll probably realize you can do that for, 10 reps. Next week, do it for 11, 12, and you keep on progressing that incline Smith. And once you max that out, switch back to the incline dumbbell. And you just rotate exercises out, and you realize you can keep on progressing for ages.
Yeah.
And when you finally have maxed out and you cannot progress, then you can look at increasing food. Maybe chuck in an extra 100 calories, something like that. See how you respond and go from there.
And also, I think people, if they were to make that change from an incline chest press to an incline Smith press, I think people are able to stimulate and contract their muscles better when they have a switch up of kind of technique. I know personally, when I do a Smith chest press, I feel it activates my upper chest more than if I were to do bench dumbbell press. It's completely up to you, but I think, it's good to have that flexibility and understand that you are able to be flexible in what you do throughout the week. If you don't enjoy a certain exercise, there's plenty of other exercises you can switch that out for.
Yeah, exactly. Like, training should be fun. Right?
Exactly.
We always say it, like, fitness, gym, training, nutrition is there to add to your life, not take away. You shouldn't go into it, I don't want to do this exercise. Right, don't do it then. Find something else.
Yeah, exactly.
No one's forcing you to incline Smith press, right?
Yeah, there's no fucking laws, mate.
Yeah.
However you please.
So yeah, I think just to wrap this up is, like, have a goal, find your need. Why are you bulking? Do you want a lean bulk? Do you want to main gain? Do you not really care about your appearance or your health? You just want to have fun, push as much weight as possible. Go for a bulk if you want. It's all right. If you do it for 6 months, you can outdo that. Like, it's fine. Just, as we said at the beginning, just don't go overboard.
you can reverse the damage that it will do. You have to be wary of that. You have to be wary.
Exactly. Obviously, patience. It's like a key word when it comes to training. It's just going to take time. You can't get it instantly unless you take some of the special supplements out there.
if you take some of Rich Piana's fantastic advice.
Yeah, exactly. So we highly recommend checking out Rich. There's some high quality.
He does fantastic 8-hour arm workouts.
Exactly.
If you can get through 1 of them,
you're not training hard enough.
No.
But
it's overall, mental how you can do something like that.
16 protein shakes as well. State your stomach.
State of your insides. Yeah, your body must just be crying. Like, have you actually seen what whey protein looks like?
No.
Like, when it's kind of the process of whey protein.
Oh, I think so. It's strange, isn't it?
It's disgusting, bro. It's not very good on the eye.
It's not great.
No.
Anyway,
Bit off topic.
Yeah, back to the podcast. The final thing I want to say is just have fun. So
Yeah.
obviously, getting big and enjoying food is just fun. I remember when I first started training, I was just like, "What? You're telling me I can eat more and there's a purpose to this? Like, tell me build muscle.
Yeah.
Like, I'm all for that.
Yeah.
But
When do I
just don't,
sign?
yeah, just don't think, oh, I get to eat everything and anything now. It's
Yeah.
because I'm bulking.
Mm.
Nah, don't lie to yourself. Obviously, have fun. If you're in like off season bit, enjoy some chocolate, enjoy some
Mm.
sweets that you probably won't be able to enjoy.
Treat yourself, don't beat yourself.
Exactly, mate. And yeah,
Because when you get to the lean bulk, the phase where you want to get lean, you'll definitely think back to a couple of months ago when you could have had that chocolate bar, but you fucking didn't.
yeah,
And
exactly.
you're gonna have to live with that.
Yeah, nobody wants to live like that. So yeah, don't push it too hard because you will end up like just a bit of a mess. Like low self-esteem, low self-confidence, poor health, spotty, all that.
Yeah.
Like, nobody wants that. But yeah, just have fun. Lean bulk, main gain. I think we've pretty much summed it up, mate.
Yes, mate.
Cool. So hope you enjoyed. If you did, let us know because I enjoy making these ones anyway.
Yeah, yeah. I'm all for fitness content.
Exactly. So yeah, if you enjoyed, let us know, and we will see you in the next one.
Peace.